Hey you and welcome. My name is Mr. Barry, and in this video I'm going to show you how to optimize your Windows computer for games. And I'm going to be taking you actually step by step on how to do this here in just a moment. But before we get into that, we'd like to remind everyone to please subscribe to my channel, Selma Teacher 7, if you haven't done so already. And also please consider leaving a thumbs up, as that really helps the channel and the video spread to others to help as many people as we can. And I used to show this trick that we're going to be doing here in my A+ certification class, and whenever anyone would ask, hey Mr. Barry, how do you optimize your computer, your Windows machine, so that it can be best running games? This should increase your frames per second. It should be increasing the performance of the games, and the steps are easy to do, and if you need to, you can actually go back and turn off some of these things or reverse them, because we do go in and we do things such as turn off background programs. And you say, well, now I'm going to be using my computer for a work computer, I'll need some of these things. Well, guess what? They should open up automatically when you start that particular program, but if they don't, you can go back to doing the exact same steps in reverse that you see here in the video to turn on anything. So you don't have to worry about overclocking. We're not touching overclocking. We're not downloading any apps because, well, you know, viruses. And all these steps can be reversed. So if you turn off something that you figure you really need, the next time you use your computer, you can always go back, turn these on by following the same steps. Take your mouse, click at the bottom here, and in the search box type in Control Panel. It should be one of the top results there. As you see on mine, it says Control Panel App. Click it, and then we need to get into the first part of the control panel. So go ahead and click there at the very top so that you're in the base. Now click on Hardware and Sound. Click that, and now we're in an area where we have Power Options. Click on Power Options, and then Power Options opens up. Now click on High Performance there. So that's option is the one that we want, but then we're going to go into Change Plan Settings. Go ahead and click that, and now go into Change Advanced Plan Settings. So go ahead and click that, and then this window comes up. You see many different options here. What we're going to do is scroll down this list and look for Wireless Adapter Settings. There will be a little plus mark on it. Click that plus mark and then click on the Power Savings Mode, and that shows up more. That needs to be set to maximum performance. Now let's scroll down a little bit more to PCI Express. That's our video card settings, by the way. Click on that plus and make sure that's on off. So copy these two settings so it's maximum performance on the wireless adapter settings, and your PCI Express should be off for the link state power management. Next is the processor power management. We have the minimum processor state. Go ahead and choose some number between 80 and 85. It may have it at 100, but you don't want to have your processor just sitting idle at 100% all the time. So the minimum processor state, that can be changed to any number between 80 and 85. And then the maximum should be at 100. So you can copy those numbers in, and then you'll click on Apply and OK. Okay, now you can click on the back arrow key to get back into the power options here. Just make sure that you have selected the high performance as your plan that you want to be using with this computer. Okay, let's go ahead and click off this, and then we're going to go back down to the bottom of our screen, and we're going to key in System Configuration. And you should see the System Configuration app at the very top. Let's go ahead and click that one, and it comes up in the small screen. Now click on the Boot tab, and you'll see the options for boot. Now, you don't have to copy all of these because this is specific for my machine, but on the timeout, you could set that down to about 10 seconds. Another option is no GUI or no GUI boot. That can be an option on some machines where that can be on or off there. Now we're going to click on Advanced Options, and here we are on the Boot Advanced Options. What we're going to do is notice it says number of processors. Mine is at 4. But we want to make sure that we're using all of our processors. So I'm going to show you how to find out how many processors are working on your machine. So go down to the bottom of your screen, right click it, and then go down to Task Manager, and now click on Performance. Now once you've clicked on Performance, go in and notice it says Logical Processors right here. And for my number, it's 4. On yours, it may be 2, 4, 8, 16, or even 32 or more. And once you know that number, go ahead and click that off and then choose that highest number there for the number of processors. Again, there I chose 4 because that's what my logical processor count was at. Go ahead and click on OK and close off this window. Now we're going to go on to Services, and now click on Hide All Microsoft Services. And basically all of these can be unchecked. Now you'll notice that some of mine are on and some of mine are off. Please notice on the last column it shows the date when it was disabled. So I have been disabling some of these and kind of experimenting on which ones I need, which ones I don't need, and it looks like that's the best for my computer. On yours you can kind of experiment, go with turning them off. The ones I would definitely leave on is if you have things related to your chip. So if you have Intel or NVIDIA, those services should be on. That way you can best use your machine. Once you have other things turned off, then you can go in and click on Apply and OK. But like I said, go through the list, make sure that your Intel processor or your AMD processor items are turned on, your video card items are turned on, and your input devices. So if you have a microphone that you use with your game, make sure that's on. If you have a mouse or other things that the software is specific for your particular gaming mouse or gaming keyboard, it's best to leave those on. After you have a good option there of the things that you don't need turned off or disabled, go ahead and click on Apply. And again, you are looking at the date on the last column, so you can experiment, go back and forth, turning off and turning on different things until you have the best performance on your machine. Once you have that, go ahead and let's click on OK. Okay, let's exit without restart because we don't want to restart our computer at this time. Take your mouse, go to the bottom, and then key in Background Apps. And as you're typing it in, it should come up, and go ahead and let's click on Background Apps. Now, right when you see yours, it'll probably look like this, right? With all of these dozens of different applications turned on. And that means when you're playing your game, when you're doing other things, these applications are running in the background all of the time. They may be checking for messages, they may be doing other things, and we don't want them doing that because that's going to be basically taking away some of our performance, correct? So go ahead and at the very top there where it says let these apps run in the background, click that where it's on off, and now they're all grayed out. So now what we're going to do is click on the X, the small X at the very top there, and close this off. Now we fall back down to the desktop. Next, we're going to be working with the Cortana app settings. So at the very bottom, type in Cortana, and you notice it says Cortana at the top. This time we're going to go into the app settings over on the right hand side. So go ahead and click on app settings for Cortana, and it comes up. Make sure all of these are turned off. So your microphone or any other things that you have like runs at the login or any of the other settings, everything should be turned off. And that way Cortana is not running in the background because why? Well, you're playing a game and you don't want her to be basically trying to listen in to see if she's needed at any moment. So make sure all of those are off and then go ahead and click on close. Now we're going to configure startup. So at the bottom, click in and type in startup apps, and then let's start up the startup apps here. And you'll see all of these different apps. You want to turn off everything that you don't want starting up with your computer. and I've gone in there and I've turned off a number of different things, but I've left on anything to do with my performance. So if it has something to do with my video card or my processor, then I leave those on, and you can basically turn off anything else. I did happen to leave on my 360 total security, but if you feel that you don't need it, you can turn that off just for the game as well. Again, make sure that you have things like the Microsoft Edge or the Google Chrome. All of those should be off so they're not running in the background while you're playing your game. And after you've gone through the list, you can now click on the X to close this app off. And I would like to mention something here too, that you should be turning off your computer once a day. Like when you go to sleep or something overnight, it should be turned off completely, and that really helps the performance if you just turn it off completely every day, once a day. Now for this next step, go ahead and click at the bottom of our screen and then key in the word run, R-U-N, and it should come up here where it says run. Go ahead and click on that run app and you'll see it coming up here. Key in percentage temp percentage, just as you see here, and then click on OK. Now you'll see the temporary folder open up. Now these are temporary files and folders that are actually saved or stored on your computer. We don't need those. And so we can actually go in and highlight any of these or all of them and then delete them. Now one easy way to do this is to click on one and then use the keyboard shortcut Control A on your keyboard. That highlights all of them as you see here. Then right click it and then select delete. And then it will begin deleting these as you see it's doing now. On any of these that are actually being used, go ahead and click on skip, so it will skip those and not delete the ones that the computer is actually using, which is kind of important, right? So again, you might have to do that multiple times there on skip, and then eventually it takes those out. And on my machine it took out gigabytes of temporary folders and files that really weren't being used by my current machine there. So then we click on X and close that off. Now the next thing that we want to do is go down here and then type in disk cleanup, and you'll see it as an app at the very top. Go ahead and click on disk cleanup. This of course is going to clean up our disk and our C drive particularly, so click on OK. You'll see this window, and this is the disk cleanup there for drive C. Normally that's where we have the operating system. All of these can be checked off, so notice that we have things such as the DirectX shader or the recycle bin, temporary files. All of those can be checked off. It's okay. Make sure that you do not save files in your recycle bin, right? We never do that. So go ahead and go through the list. You can check them off. It'll tell you how much space is actually being saved on each one, and click on OK. And after you click on OK, it'll ask you, are you sure you want to permanently delete these files? Click on yes, and it will go in and begin deleting those temporary files from the C drive. So this basically optimized our C drive for us, so it's fewer files there, and everything gets a little bit faster when you don't have to have those files there. You could be doing other things such as defragging your hard drive if you have the older hard disk drive. But for solid state drives, we do not defrag those. And another thing I would like to mention too is you could go in and update your video drivers. So make sure you do have the newest drivers for your video card, as that helps a great deal. Hey, there you go. Now you know how to optimize your computer specifically for games. And if you like these types of videos, please leave a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have a question or if you have an idea for a future video. Just tap it down there and I'll get to those here in the coming weeks. And also, please subscribe to my channel if you have done so already. And I would like to say a big thank you to all of my new subscribers and all my new supporters out there in YouTube, and just a big thank you to everyone out there. I really appreciate all of the shares that you've done for the video and also everything else there. So thank you. All right. Well, you have a wonderful day, and bye-bye.